Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Father Mobius. I shall be heading the sermon today and the service. We are just waiting for just a few more minutes for just people to come in, so feel free to take a seat and, enjoy the ambiance, if you will. Well, you know what, child? It's okay. I understand that there can be a lot of anger and upset hearts at these events, but it is a natural course, but it's no problem. Yes, whilst we are preparing, it'll just be a few more minutes, so feel free to take a seat and get comfortable. Thank you. Friends, we are gathered here today to celebrate the life of Elijah Matthias Phantom, who, after several centuries, is no longer with us. Indeed, he has left this mortal coil. Mr. Diagnosed, if you could, I understand your frustrations and your anger at the situation, but if you could please, I know this is a tough time for everyone. Elijah was known by few and loved by even fewer than that, actually. It was abysmally small how many people liked him. But nevertheless, we found in documents he had left behind that if he were ever to die, he would like his funeral to take place in his theater, which is why we are here today. Yes. Now, though Elijah's body could not be found, indeed, the whereabouts of it are a mystery, never mind if it's in a condition which can be shown. As his body could not be found, we do hope that this closed casket service will bring some closure to those in attendance on his passing. Yes. I understand that this may come as a shock to many. It certainly has to the few people who did know him, but What's important here is that Elijah would not want his death to have been a sad event. No, indeed, he would have wanted it to be a celebration of his life. And again, we do have written documentation that Elijah would have liked it, that people would have been left laughing at the end of his life. And so he has left us a list of short poems which he would like us to read, which would like to be read aloud for everyone in attendance today, that they might not be saddened, nor pissed off, as you would say, diagnosed. Nay, so that you might be left laughing in the wake of the end. And without further ado, we shall start the beginning of perhaps the last performance, which he would like to. Oh, sorry, he would like read. Sorry, my apologies, I misspoke. We shall start what perhaps is the beginning of the last performance to take place in the theatre. And, we shall begin with his poems. The first one is a poem written by Richard Leavesley, and we do hope it can offer some... It's quite alright, Mr. Diagnosed. It's quite alright. These things happen, and especially under such circumstances, I can understand why. But yes, this is a poem by Richard Leavesley. Again, Elijah's wish was that any of these can hopefully give you some form of joy in this somber time. This is called... Well, perhaps we should read the poem first. Oh, my beloved belly button, the squidgy ring in my midriff mutton. Your mystery is such tricky stuff. Why are you so full of fluff? Thank you. That was Belly Button Magic by Richard Leavesley. Yes, I do hope that Elijah's choices here have some solace to you all. Next, we shall move on to a second poem by Elijah. No, this is by Laura Elizabeth Richards. This is also heavily recommended and requested by Elijah in his... Oh, yes, Diagnosed. How can we help you? Yes, how can we help you? Absolutely, if you would like. There are many empty seats here. No, of course, yes, I can... Admittedly, I can smell it a bit from here, so please, if it is necessary, you are more than welcome to move seats. There's only maybe less than a handful of people here, so I understand. Now, again, this is a poem by Laura Elizabeth Richards. This is called Ella Telephony. Once there was an elephant who tried to use the telephone. An elephone who tried to use the telephone. Dear me. I'm not certain quite that even now I got it right. However it was, he got his trunk entangled in the telefunk. The more he tried to get it free, the louder buzzed the telefee. I fear I'd better drop the song of Elephop and Telephong. Thank you. There's a rather humorous wordplay in that poem. I on a personal note, I greatly appreciate it. Perhaps I shall call for the dean later, and we can examine that diagnose so that we can make sure that no devils are present. But alas, I do not think a devil would be here, not when there's already been death had. For indeed the devil is with the living and not with the dead. The dead can be with the devil, though, if one is to lean towards sin in life. But alas, it's more anecdotes on my part. Perhaps we shall move on to something a bit more profound. This is called Have You Ever Seen? This is by an anonymous author. We know not who this author is. We shall turn the music back on, though. It's perhaps useful for the atmosphere of the situation. I'm sure he would appreciate as well that having humorous poems on top of rather melancholic music is in itself rather humorous. Haha. Yes, this is Have You Ever Seen? Have you ever seen a sheet on a riverbed? Or a single hair from a hammer's head? Has the foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of garden hose? Does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol? Or open the trunk of a tree at all? Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Can the garden plot be deep and dark? And what is the sound of the birch's bark? Thank you. You see, that was rather humorous wordplay. It's noting how a lot of these words are homonyms, or homonyms, yes, they're the same word but used for different scenarios, such as bark being used for tree, but also the noise that animals such as dogs can make. It's rather humorous, actually. I very much enjoyed that. I'm glad he left that with us. It appears we have 2 more poems which he wanted to leave us all with before the end. This... Oh, now... I do apologize, I'm just trying to find my notes here. Now, where have they gone? Ah, yes, there. This is a poem called Home Alone by Inarenko. My family's gone, there's no one home. It's only me who's home alone. I shouldn't hear a single squeak. There shouldn't even be a creak. So what's that thumping that I hear? It must mean one thing. Death is near. You're an adult, you'll be just fine, I tell myself as I dial 9. There's a casket tipping, I shouldn't think so. God, I hope not. These things are rather expensive, actually. This is a rental. Was it a knock upon the door? My heart beats faster than before. I know it's closed, I've checked the lock. At least my killer knows to knock. I cannot sleep, though I'm in bed. I've made amends with God instead. If he decides that it's my time, then this will be my very last rhyme. I hear a bang, and then a break. My head shoots up. There's no mistake. I turn my music volume high, so I won't hear the way I die. I run upstairs, desk lamp in hand, over my head, ready to land. And right before I did just that, I remembered. I have a cat. Thank you. A bit of a long build-up in that one, admittedly, but Yes, this is one of the ones he requested, so we'll leave it there. We have one final poem which Elijah was wanting to request from us. Yes, I did think it was rather fitting. Perhaps he chose that poem as a reason for his death. Elijah chose a poem about thinking he's going to die on his death. Rather fitting in an ironic way. Anyway, we do have one final poem. This is called She by Paul Curtis. She smiles, and I undress her with my eyes. She laughs, and I'm naked with her. She looks at me, and my heart pounds. She smiles at me, and I orgasm. I really must get out more. Quite a lovely piece. Quite a lovely piece. Yes, well, you know, we must honor the instructions of the dead. We must honor the instructions of the dead, as I understand. I would never find a poem about a man who climaxes upon looking at a woman funny. Excuse me, got sniffles, so wasn't snorting at all there. Anyway, shall we move on? Elijah wanted us to start up with those poems, and now we do have some writings to read from a family member of his who unfortunately was not able to make it today due to problems with the Russian government, but they were able to. We all laugh at ourselves sometimes. Okay, well, it's rather a rude and inappropriate comment considering the scenario, but I shall let it slide again. We lash out in different ways in these kind of scenarios. We respond differently. It's all fine. It's all fine. But yes, as I was saying, we do have some writings from a family member of Elijah who unfortunately could not be here today due to issues with the Russian government. They appear to be in some deep problems, but and did not want their name to be revealed. However, they did give us this text to read. So if you'll excuse me, I'll get my notes out. Oh, wait, hold on, where's it gone? Now, oh dear. Well, this is found it. Here we go. Alright. Again, this is a message from Elijah's family member in remembrance of Elijah. Potatoes, shallots, optional capers, mayonnaise, extra virgin olive oil, white. Oh wait, hang on. My apologies. No, that's rather embarrassing. This appears to be a recipe for a potato salad. Well, excuse me. I'm sure there's no. I'm sure the actual list is around here. So where's that gone now? Okay, got it. Yeah, sorry, apologies for that, everyone. This is the actual writings which his family member left behind. Toilet roll, cornflour, spring onions, carrots. Oh god, that's. Oh my god, I do apologise, that everyone. That's a personal shopping list. Well, Huh. Was it written down? I'm sure I had it on a piece of paper. Was it not on phone? No? Oh. Oh dear. Well, again, this is a closed casket event because we could not find the body, unfortunately, so I do apologize for that diagnosis, but, I also do apologize as well to everyone in the audience. I appear to have misplaced the notes left by, Elijah's family member. So, Well then, what if I have the body? And diagnosed, if that is the case, I should need to call the police. If that is indeed the case. I should hope not. I should hope this is some kind of cruel jest on your part. I should certainly hope so. No, this is my cover-up. Should I call the police? Is this someone who is visiting the victim on their... Perhaps I should carry on with the service for now. Perhaps we can have a word afterwards about your alleged dead body having and, demons in your butthole. That's exactly what I'm thinking. What is not criminal, though, is that we do have some words from family friends who wish to say a few words regarding Elijah. Now, we have two people coming on to speak. Let's bring one. Are you all right? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yep. Okay, no. Right, so we're going to have our first speaker come on now. Thank you for that. I don't think we ever got his name. Hang on, did it even have a cat? Was that just a cat which walked in here? No, it can't have been. I'm sure they had some very in those meows were some very heartfelt thoughts and feelings about Elijah. That's all we can really ask for. I do understand that was a bit unorthodox, and I certainly hope that this black cat is not an omen of things to come, as you said, diagnosed. I should hope not. It's, a rather terrifying thought otherwise. But, since that our last speaker there was a bit unorthodox, perhaps we should bring in someone who we know for certain is able to speak a human tongue. she's able to speak human, right? Yep. Yeah. Okay, cool. Next up speaking shall be an old friend of Elijah from his college days, on one of his cycles in college. As many of you know, he attended university several times throughout his life in order to gain new knowledge in his seemingly undying at the time life, but obviously that is not the case now. Samantha, if you would like to come up to the stage.
Like, hi everyone. I knew Elijah for like one semester. He was a guy, and he was there. I think sometimes about like people I remember really well, and he wasn't one of those guys. I just kind of remember him, but not like super well. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was just kind of there, you know? And like, that's okay. We don't all need to be like there, you know? You know? And like, he like he liked me? Gee, I had like no idea. Like, honestly, I kind of like forgot about him a little bit, honestly. I do remember this one time we were in like a group together for one of our university classes, and like he said some stuff which was kind of interesting. I can't remember it, but like, you know, I'm just a girl, just a silly girl. I can't remember everything. Yeah, he was certainly a guy, and he had a hat, which is pretty cool, I think. Hats are cool. Hats are in season, sometimes. Actually, it's summer now, so it depends on the hat. Not this hat. This hat's not in season right now, but you know, it can be seasonal. And yeah, he had hair and a face, I think. And he was he was alive, I think. I mean, like, are any of us like really alive, you know? Like, OMG, you're driving? OMG. OMG, can you like get me a Starbucks on your way back? I'm like so thirsty thinking about dead people. It's just like, it really works my brain in a way that I'm not used to. Anyway, yeah. He was a guy, and yeah. He was okay. He was there. Am I getting paid for this? Oh, this was just about a... Oh, I see. Right, well, I guess I'm gonna get going now. You know, sorry your friend died. But, yeah, you know, you'll always meet new friends. There's always new people in life. So, yeah. Have a good one. Goodbye. Bye. Bye-bye.
Well, it was rather, it was very, very thoughtful. What, do we really have no one else to speak about? No one, really? Fuck. Yes, that was lovely, Samantha. That was really quite lovely to talk about. Indeed, that was, wow, that was certainly a thing. certainly a thing. Anyway, perhaps, it would be in our best interest to move swiftly along from that and, instead discuss other matters. So, Elijah, on his documentation here, had a song he wanted to play at his funeral more than anything else. It was a song he was sure would bring happiness to everyone who heard it. And so, we shall turn off our normal music, and instead we shall play the song requested by Elijah. Because, my God, what the hell was that before? So I've not heard this song personally. Apparently it's by a band called Obscurest Vinyl. I've never heard of them, but this is the song he wanted to play at his funeral. So we're going to play that now.
I got my balls to my butthole, yeah. Oh my God, what did I do? I can't take a dump, 'cause now my balls are blocking up my butthole. Fool me once, shame on you.
What?
Fool me twice, shame on you.
What?
Good God, I pulled too hard, now my scrotum's stretched out like a funky yarn.
Hang on. That can't be right. That can't be the song he suggested. I glued my balls to my butthole again. By Obscurest Vinyl? I don't... Listen, I know we've talked about some rather crude poetry today, but, I don't think we can play this. If not for the legal reasons, for the copyright. Yes, I know it was his request. Play maybe like a little bit more. Fine. We'll play a little bit more. Can't play the whole thing, goddammit. Excuse me, sorry about that.
I threw my balls to my butthole, baby. Oh my God, what did I do? I can't take a dump, 'cause now my balls are blocking up my butthole. My lady doesn't want a life of watching her man use a butter knife. Face down, ass up, try and saw off the sack. Oh baby, fucking please just take me back. I threw my
This...
balls to my butthole, baby.
Oh, we got a minute now? We are?
What did I do?
Okay, enough of that. Yes, we can't, Well, I do apologize, everyone. That was, not expected, in the slightest, actually. But, that was the song that was asked to be played. So, we do have to oblige by that, But, well, with that having been done, with the poetry being read, with our wonderful guest speakers coming on, and with his final song for all of you played, we are coming to an end of our service here tonight. Perhaps the last performance at this theatre. Now, I understand that this, again, is a hard time to everyone, but I hope through this service you've understood that Elijah would not want anyone to be sad. Instead, he would prefer for you all to be happy and joyful at life, to laugh at life and all its absurdities, and to really... Hello? Hello? What the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on here? I'm gone for 2 weeks. And there's a few. Listen, I have been at home. I have been at home. I have been.
You're alive?
Excuse me? Yes, I'm alive, you fucking idiot. I have been at home just eating a pan au chocolat. And you know what? I'm not French. I probably mispronounced that. I don't care though. Because I get a call from a friend who I knew from Facebook of all things. I don't even use Facebook anymore. But I get a call saying, hey, are you dead? Like, I got a call. I saw a message saying that you are, like, having a funeral today. Number one, what kind of fucking moron messages someone if they're dead? Number two, what kind of fucking idiot farts here? And number three, who the hell says that I am dead? What the hell is going on? Seriously, this is absurd. This is just absurd.
Well, it's just that you hadn't been online in a while lately, and
I've not been online lately. That's the reason why. I was sick, you moron! Good God, you're off for 2 weeks with a flu. I made a YouTube short joking about how I had a flu and was sick. And you have the gall. You have the gall, man, to say that I am dead? What the hell? For shame. For shame. Did no one watch the short? I mean, come on, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I thought it was pretty funny to make a short about that whilst I was sick, and I think maybe some other people did as well. It's like, what do you mean? Oh, what?
it's rather
Yes. Yes. You know what? Get out. Get out. No one wants you here. Get out. All of you, get out. You're all bad. Yeah, except for you in the back with the balloons. The clown in the back with the balloons. You can stay. You diagnose. You can stay as well. Just stop farting. But yeah, you and the guy in the back with the balloons. You can stay. Everyone else, get out. Get out. You're not welcome here. Be gone. Go. Go. Leave. For shame. For shame. Hang on, I'm back in a second. I'm gonna clean up this mess. Have I been muted the entire time? Fuck! Okay, when did I stop being muted? So since I got onto this screen here, since I came back and cleared all the funeral stuff out. Well, okay, we've not missed too much then. Okay, well, I swear to God, as I was saying, I swear to God, you're not active for 2 weeks, and everyone thinks you're dead. What a world we live in. Truly disgusting, isn't it? I was just at home eating a pain au chocolat, which I've still not finished. I'm going to finish it now whilst I'm here. I swear to God, everyone thinks you're dead when you're not streaming for 2 weeks. And I had a flu. I had a terrible throat. I couldn't stream. Unless everyone wanted me to lose my throat and get really congested. But anyway. Well, with that being said, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the show. This is me, Elijah. I am indeed back. I have not died. I am not dead. I never have died. I never will die. I don't know who it was that has been saying that I died. Who was that? Father Mobius? Was that his name? Was that his name? Father Mobius? Goddamn bastards. No idea who that was. But I can assure you I am. The rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. That I can assure you. My goodness. Well, I guess we should have a little catch up, shouldn't we? And discuss where I've been, and what's been going on. So yes, as I mentioned beforehand, I have been off sick the past 2 weeks because I wanted to make sure my throat was in full tip-top condition. But I have. You sent him away and he was supposed to be exercised my butthole. Diagnosed... Oh, what the hell? Oh, yeah. Diagnosed... Listen, in all the time I've known you, I figured something out. No one can exercise your butthole. It's not possible. That thing is beyond demonic. That thing is just beyond anything. I suppose I should talk about what's been going on. So yes, I was sick for about 2 weeks. I'm back now though. I've kind of used this as well just to take a bit of a break from streaming and just like revitalize myself, figure out what I want to do. And you know what? I thought, let's do something weird. Let's do something weird and add something new to the stream. So, you'll notice that there should be a new redeem which says, throw things at him. Now, I wonder what happens if someone were to use 300 points, 300 tickets, to throw something at me. Oh, goodness gracious me, I wonder what would happen. By the way, Diagnosed, I did see that you resubscribed earlier on for 14 months. Thank you so much. Very, very generous of you. But, yes. If only someone were to just use 300 tickets to activate a new redeem saying throw something at him. Oh my. If only some kind soul could do such a thing. Oh, woe is me. Woe be me. No one? Ugh. I guess I'll show you all. So when you redeem that... Ow! Now objects will be thrown at me. From the sides of the theatre, the wings of the theatre, people will throw things at me now. Isn't that great? Now, I can be harassed even more by you guys. Not just with fart redeems, but with objects thrown at me as well. Isn't that great? Isn't that just lovely? I think that's rather lovely. And also terrible, but also rather lovely. But yes, I am in much better shape. I do have some hot water with some lemons inside of it at the moment. I guess it's like a lemon tea, really, but without any kind of tea leaves. It's more just like lemons steeping in hot water. And yes, it's very good for the throat. So, But yeah, I figured for like the first time back, we could have a little catch-up stream. And just, yeah, see what's going on. If it's not obvious, I didn't really plan much. I didn't really plan much about what to talk about in general terms. However, I do have some topics I'd like to bring up. So, but yeah, what's been happening lately? So you all know that I don't have any kind of social life. So I would love to say how I've been going out and exploring the world and meeting up with friends, but I don't have any of those. So yeah, that's why I made that YouTube short I made, because I don't know anyone. I guess I know a few people, but but yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, I made a YouTube short when I was sick because I thought it would just be kind of funny to do that. And I made, for the first time, lasagna. I'm very surprised myself. I've never made it before. I think it's just because it takes a while. Like, it takes a bit of time to make a lasagna. But yeah, really nice. Lasted me like 3 days. And oh my god. I was having it for myself and for family members as well. But oh my god. That was some good stuff. Oh my god. So good. Love lasagna. I didn't even need to use onions with it. I just used dried onion granules. And had the same effect. But yes, I made a lasagna for the first time. And it's got me thinking about other things that I've never made before, which I want to try my hand at making. Gotta get to work. I'm trying to put you on the PC today. No problem at all, Diagnose. I hope you have a wonderful day at work. Thank you for attending my fake funeral, I guess. Also, thanks for farting in there as well and ruining that pastor's day. I appreciate that. That rat bastard thinking I'm dead. What the hell is this? Pathetic. Honestly. Who does that? Who does that, really? My goodness. I'm gonna eat another pan au chocolat because I'm hungry. I don't know why I've not eaten anything all day. ASMR. Very good stuff. This is something I like to make, like French-style butter breads. They're very... So it takes a lot of time to make them because it's all about folding the bread over and over on itself in order to make layers without just like pressing it back into itself and crushing it completely. But yeah, it looks pretty hard to do. I know in the Final Fantasy XIV cookbook, they rank the difficulties of all the recipes from easy to savage, with savage raids are like the hardest content in Final Fantasy XIV. There's only one savage recipe, which is a croissant, I believe. I think it's more just because it takes time to do. One thing I would like to make there, I want to make an eclair, because I don't know if you guys have seen The Simpsons. In The Simpsons, there's a really, really funny bit, which is one of my favourite bits in all The Simpsons. It's called, where they're going to kill Homer, these restaurateurs. They're going to kill Homer with a dessert called Le Bombay, which is this enormous eclair. Now, Binging with Babish has made a video on it, which I don't think was probably Le Bombay, really. Like, Le Bombay is enormous. Granted, I also don't know if you make an eclair that big, if it would even support itself, if it would just collapse or not. I'm not sure exactly. Either way, Le Bombay is this enormous eclair, which apparently has only like 100 pounds of butter per square inch. And that's not physically possible. Hello, Yuzu. How are you doing? The title. Well, it appears as though there was a fake funeral which was being hosted by some bastard who thought I was dead and was hosting a funeral for me. But in my theatre, no less. Can you imagine the nerve of that guy?
Hiya, Fizz.
I was thinking there was a name change there, and then I'm like, Fizz makes way more sense now. Good to see you, Fizz. It has been a little bit, hasn't it? I was off for the past 2 weeks due to sickness. I had a very bad cold and flu, which was making it very hard to talk and just extremely congested, so I wasn't streaming because of that. And within that 2-week period, apparently enough people thought I had died that they'd planned a funeral for it. What the hell? It has been a while. It's nice to be back. Alas, it's okay. I am not dead. I don't know why people thought I was dead. This is ridiculous. I swear, 2 weeks is enough for people to think you've been wiped off the face of the planet now. Preposterous. Don't you think so? I'm certainly not fond of it. Don't worry, they're all gone now. Kick them all out. Except there's that one clown in the back who's making some animal balloon. Hey! Hey, how's that dog balloon coming along? Hurry it up! I swear to God. You keep someone around, and they can't even do the one job. Very much alive, if I say so myself. That's good to hear. I am also very much alive, unlike those damn priests. Well, I guess I didn't kill them. I might kill. Do you think I should kill the people who planned out my funeral? Exactly. No, yeah, like a whole 40-minute long service, and they thought I wouldn't find out about it. Like, I got a call set from someone. It's like, oh, are you dead? I'm like, no, of course I'm not dead. I'm like, well, why is there a funeral for you? I'm like, there is no funeral for me. What are you talking about? You can plan a funeral without fun. I feel like it's been more of a trend over the past several decades now. That, like, funerals should be more of a remembrance of someone's life as opposed to some very somber event. Like it was hundreds of years ago. I feel like it's just leaned more towards that. To people being happy in remembrance. But yeah, that's not the point of that. The point is that I'm not dead. I'm alive. If we can get out of character... get out of character for one moment. Actually, no, we'll leave it. Leave it a little bit. But no, I was talking about how, like... what is it? Yeah, so I've been thinking a lot of food I never made before, but I probably should have done by now. Like, I made lasagna for the first time yesterday? No, a couple of days ago now. And oh my god, it was fantastic. It was a fantastic lasagna. But, yeah, it made me realize, hang on, I've never made it before. And probably the reason why is because lasagna takes a long time to make. It's very time-inducing, and, you know, you have to make a sauce, and you have to bake it and everything like that. Ugh. However, if fucking delicious, and it lasts a while as well. So, like, it makes me think about what other dishes, which are seemingly fairly standard, have I not made before. There's a lot of egg dishes I've not made, but that's just because I don't really like egg that much. Who am I kidding? I hate egg. I think eggs are bad. Ogres are like onions. They got layers. What are cakes? Cakes got layers. That reminds me, actually. Who's the guy who plays Shrek? Mike Myers, right? He was in Austin Powers as well. Apparently, terrible person to work with. One of the reasons why they've not made more Austin Powers films is because Mike Myers is allegedly awful on every single account. Like he is like a massive diva syndrome. Like anyone who has worked with him, staff or either cast or crew, has had an awful time working with Mike Myers. Like, if you're a crew member, you're not allowed to look at him. If you do, he fires you. I understand that the high source of protein for a lot of people. I just don't. I've never liked eggs. I've never liked eggs. I can have them potentially in fried rice, but like only a little bit. Otherwise, I can't stand eggs. But yeah, it's got me thinking. Like, I've done steaks before. Okay. For any Americans in the chat, you might want to cover your ears with this one. I don't understand the hype about steaks. I don't understand it. I think steaks are really kind of whatever, right? I'd get fired immediately. I'm looking. You probably dodged the bullet if you got if you got out of the film with Mike Myers in. I've got a pan of chocolate which I'm eating at the moment. So like, okay. Number one. Steak is just like, how do I put this? Okay, no. Number one. I think the conversation around steak makes me not like steak more than I don't. Makes me not like steak that much. Because there's so much elitism about steak, right? And it's just like, it's a fucking piece of dead cow. Eat it how you want. What does it matter if it's barely cooked, if it's like raw meat, or if it's like well done, you know? You eat what you want. You eat to your preference. Like, come on, guys. It's not that big a deal. And it's really annoying to me. Yeah, the conversations around steaks are just like super fucking frustrating. I don't like it at all, and that kind of makes me like steak less. But other than that as well, like, even then, like, I don't know how I should have steak, right? It is elitist food. It is absolutely elitist, and like, people who get mad about steaks are like the scum of the earth. You know, they're like Italians. Not all Italians, but Italians who get like uppity about food. But also all Italians, because fuck them. But yes. It's really odd, right? We have like different ways to cook steak, and like oh well, what's the best way to have steak? Is it medium rare? Is it medium? Is it well done? I've tried a few. Like I like my steaks more done than undone, right? I do. I do not know what the best way to eat steak is, because I've tried a bunch and I'm just like, I don't really get it. You like steak well done? Exactly. What's that line from King of the Hill? Where it's like, and this is how we cook our steak, medium rare. Like, but what if they want their steak well done? Then we ask them kindly but firmly to leave. Good. King of the Hill's good. I've not watched all the King of the Hill. It looks funny though. You should probably watch it sometime. Yeah, no. The idea that anyone who's like likes steak well done, as long as they're gel, is ridiculous. Exactly, right? That's another thing it puts people off. Also, another thing. Sorry, I'm eating. Steak is not even the best way to cook beef. It's juicy, no, it's fucking bleak. There's actually, it's not blood at that point. I think it's called hemoglobin or something like that. I can't remember the term is now, but it's not blood. But yeah, I can understand why it will put people off. No, I don't even think like steaks are like the best way to eat beef. I think if I'm gonna have beef, I want it stewed. I want stewed beef. Like a nice beef stew, slow cooked for like over an hour, and the meat just tears apart. Oh my god. Now that's where it's at. Like, making just like a nice, like, sort of traditional Irish beef stew, or like, there's a type of, I think it's Mexican, there's a beef stew called birria. And like, birria is this like, beef stew you make with like, dried chili peppers. Oh my god, it's lovely. It's like, it's really, really nice. Like, a lot of people make like, tacos with birria. I just like eating birria as a stew by itself. With some like rice, you can have some lime on the side as well. Oh my god, it is absolutely lovely. Yeah, like a nice stewed beef. That is great. Like, if you're doing like a traditional like European style beef stew, you can do Irish beef stew, which is like an Irish stew is like you use Guinness in it or some other type of beer, and you cook it in that, and it's really, really nice. Really like beef stew on. Yeah. No, I'll have birria. If on the rare occasions I do make it, I'll have it with rice next, with rice and maybe like a tortilla or something like that on the side, just to mop up. You know what I mean? But yeah, beef stew, stewed beef is where it's at. Fuck steak. Steak is mid. Steak is just like the most mediocre, overhyped food. Also, steak's really expensive, right? Steak is fucking expensive for no goddamn reason. Whereas you can get like a bunch more beef for stewing way cheaper. I eat a lot of garlic, onions, ginger. Good choice. I mean, I don't like onions. Controversial maybe, but I hate onions. I think onions taste bad by themselves. I think they're texturally disgusting. However, I understand onions have a very important place in food, and they're often used to flavour things. So, nowadays, I'll use onion granules. When I made that lasagna, I made like a base of carrots, celery, and dried onions, rather than whole, fresh onions, because that way they just kind of get disintegrated in the sauce, you know? They're not disintegrated, but you understand what I mean. I can't taste the onion at all. I can't feel the onion at all, because the texture of onion's vile. It's just gross. But, tell you what, what's it called? There's this, like, Italian topping you can do. Why get a bone steak when you can get... Exactly, yes, thank you, Fizz. Oh, my god, it annoys me so much. People talk about steak as the best thing ever. No, it's not. Listen, again, I'd rather go for stewed beef any day of the week. If someone put a steak in front of me or a beef stew, well, actually, I might go for this steak, if it's free at least. If someone gives me a free steak or a free beef stew, I may go for the steak just because, well, I never get to try it. Maybe I'll give it a go. Beef fried rice and stuff. Yeah, I like that. I like it. It needs to be very small and thin for that, I think. I don't dislike it. I like it. Again, I think I'd still rather just have stewed beef when it's just like really soft and tender and melts in your mouth. And, also, sometimes when you have like fried beef like that and like a like a stir fry or something like that, you sometimes get really tough cuts of meat, which isn't what you want. Sometimes it's super thin and it's nice. But yeah, overall, I'd still rather prefer that over like a steak. That's probably the most common usage for the marrow, though, isn't it? You put it in a broth and just stew it for ages. It just helps give it a natural beef stock. Granted, if you're cooking it all in the same pot, all the stuff from the beef, from the bone and such, will be leached into the soup anyway, into the stew anyway, so it's not that big a deal. You don't need to use 2 pots for that. But yeah. That's a good idea. It just tastes good. It's like... bone-in food just adds a lot to stews. It's why a lot of people recommend it. Like a bone-on chicken breast, chicken thigh, or a chicken leg. Good stuff. There's a really nice dish. It's called fezenjun. It's like a Persian dish. It's like a pomegranate and walnut stew, and you use either duck or chicken with it. I made it. for a family member of mine as a present the other week because it takes a long time to make. It's very, very long time to make. Pretty costly as well, but not that bad. But yeah, I use chicken thighs in that. Oh my god, it is fantastic. I love making it all the time. It's so good. It's like a very rich food though. You can't eat it all the time. It's something that you make once on a blue moon. It's a special occasion. But yeah, steak elitism is one of the worst things in the food world for me. I can't stand it. And I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather just eat beef stew than have a steak. And if people think I'm an idiot for that, I think you're a fucking moron for spending $10 plus on meat. Like, Jesus Christ, what the hell happened? Your balls drop off along with your brain? Fucking idiots. Wait, speaking of chicken. Gordon Blair. For him and for her. I've never had it before. Have I? Wait, hang on. Ow. I know why that happened. I have a shortcut set for some stuff. Schnitzel cordon bleu is a dish of meat wrapped around cheese, then breaded and pan-fried. Oh, maybe I haven't. No, I haven't had this, actually. It sounds good, though. It's like, essentially a rolled/stuffed meat recipe. It sounds good. Yeah. Like, okay. The usual over here is chicken, ham, and cheese. I think I probably had a... Okay. There's a dish over here in the UK. It's probably another place as well. It's called Hunter's Chicken. Oh, that sounds rather nice, actually. Delightful. I was going to say, yeah, there's a dish over here. It's called Hunter's Chicken. You probably have it where you are as well. Fizz, I can't remember where you said you are beforehand. Wait, no. Was it Indo? Wait, I don't want to dox you, actually. Fuck. God damn it. Anyway, what was I going to say? What was I saying? Yeah, there's a really, really, what was I saying? Fuck. Oh, wait, no, I remember you saying that. Yeah. Asian boy. That was meant to be like a reference to Wonder Boy by Tenacious D. I don't think that really came across there. I was talking, actually, oh my god, that's what I was talking to say. Yeah. So, actually, you saying Chinese reminded that as well, because I was talking to a friend from China of mine from the other day, earlier in the week, right? Because it's been a while since we've last talked to each other. Oh wait, no, yeah, Hunter's Chicken first, yeah. Hunter's Chicken, it's like a chicken breast covered with like barbecue sauce and wrapped in bacon and cheese. Now, I used to think that dish was really, really nice. When I was very, very small, though, this was before I could cook, by the way, so I hadn't... This is one of the reasons why I got more into cooking, to stop this from happening. My mother, who was looking after me, she had a job which often required her to work very late, and she wasn't around to look after us for a while. Oftentimes, she would either bring home pizza or ready meal Hunter's Chicken for food. And I fucking hated it. Because it was all the time. It's all she'd get. And I'm like, I want to fucking kill myself. I do not want to eat this anymore. And now I love cooking food. To this day, though, despite the fact that I know it tastes good, I really struggle to stomach it just because it reminds me of that time period of like all you're getting is this shitty ready meal stuff. And the first time I had it was at a restaurant and it was really nice. But like all you're getting is this terrible ready meal thing. Stop it. This is making me want to vomit. Even now, like, sometimes I think about it too much, I feel a bit, like, ill. Just thinking about it. You know, that feeling of, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Things. I know it tastes good. It's forever been ruined for me, I feel. But, yeah. It's not something I'm, like, super fond of anymore, despite liking it when I was younger. Maybe I'd make it myself one day. But, yeah, it's a really annoying feeling. No, what I was going to say, yeah. So, I was talking with my friend from China the other day. He currently lives in England. Yeah, we've not talked in a while. We met at university a couple of years ago now, but we've not been able to catch up recently. So I started my own, but during the. Wait, we always used to have hot pot because that's what my. Got back from working in a restaurant. Ah, I see. Like, hot pots are nice. It's just like, I guess I guess you get sick of any food, right? Where it's like, if you have it all the time, it's gonna get bland and boring for you, isn't it? Like, you can only have so much of the same thing. You're like, oh my god, fucking kill me, please. I can totally imagine being like, I never want to have another one again. The thing is, when you say hot pot as well, that's so versatile, that could be anything. I mean, hot pots are just, like, basically a type of stew, and the idea is that you just throw in whatever you want in them, realistically. But yeah, I can totally get it. There's a specific type which you used to have a lot. Yeah, I can totally understand, like, getting kind of sick of it now. Flunked during the pandemic. I'm sorry about that. I think we all flunked during the pandemic. Man, I think about university and how I was I abjectly failed at university, and it was during the pandemic as well, where it was in I was in like my last year of, at least on this cycle of life, I was in my last year of uni when the pandemic was in full swing. It was miserable and lonely, and I wanted to die. Yeah, uni was not good. Man, I think a lot about it, right? Especially recently, I've been thinking about it a lot. Where I think about all the things I wanted to do at university. I had all these goals of who I wanted to be and who I wanted to make myself. And despite trying to reach those goals, I failed. Which sucks to admit. Actually, no, it doesn't even suck to admit. I can admit it fine. It just sucks that it happened. I had this idea, okay, I'm going to make myself my own person, separate from all these other people I know. I'm going to finally make friends for myself. And I'm going to be someone. And in the end, it didn't work out that way. I barely passed my university year because I was so chronically depressed that I wasn't able to work. And I found how incompetent I was at working under these kind of stressful situations. I saw a lot of my own weaknesses really brought up to the front, and I think, rather than see my own strengths, I think the strengths I did have became weaknesses as well. I think going to university made me an ultimately weaker person. It made me an ultimately worse person. Like, the idea that, like, I was gonna make tons of friends and stuff and found people who really accept me. So, I don't know if I've said this before. I am a twin, right? Being a twin, it's difficult. Your entire existence can often feel compared to someone else. And, you know, other people have... I don't have a bad relationship with my brother at all, but, like, it can certainly feel like you're trying to exist outside of them a lot of the time as well. And especially for me, where I've always been very much the quiet one, and they've been very socially rambunctious and outgoing. Going to university for me was an opportunity to change that. And ultimately, I came out with almost no friends. The people who I met, who I thought were my friends, ended up being not the kind of people I thought they were. And honestly, I've realized, hang on, you're actually really unhealthy for me. I've met people who made me feel bad for being myself. And that sucks. And sometimes I'll look at it and like, okay, was I an asshole here? I'm like, I made mistakes, sure, but I wouldn't say I'm an asshole by any means. I think the people around me were like, way worse. And I was just a fool who got roped into it all. I also read about something twins and how they revolved around each other. Yeah, it's very hard to, like, carve yourself off from a reflection, you know? Can you break free from the mirror? I'm looking at the man in the mirror and I'm asking him to change his ways. I'm starting with the man with the mirror, even. Unfortunately, I'm still looking at that mirror now, as I see people excel in life whilst I flounder around trying to find out if there's anything I can do. All the talents I thought I had just kind of... it feels as though they faded away. As my confidence was... Listen, I'm a VTuber, you probably get this. I mean, you got VT in your name now. Like, you get it, right? Like, I think a lot of VTubers is very... I don't think there's anyone who would say they're a VTuber is, like, a socially adept person. Or at the very least, they don't believe they are. I've been... okay. Like, a lot of the talents I thought I had were... I feel like I've lost them. As my confidence has been grated down on a sanding wheel, I feel like I've lost a lot of myself. It's... You right? What's that line to Undertale? It's you. After everything, it's still you. God damn, I just remember I saw like a picture of like the whole like... It was when like Selene Dokibert had just like been fired from Niji and that whole fiasco. Like, there was a really sad image I saw, which was like Dokibert standing in front of a mirror, with like a letter saying application successful, and it's like, it's you! And then very right next to it was an image with her dressed as Selene taking off a purple wig and looking just so fucking crushed and defeated as a person, and just said, despite everything, it's still you. That is fucking crushing. Yeah, that was sucky. Yeah, it hurts. It really hurts. Actually, I was watching Dokibird play Monopoly with Fillion and some of the Face Connect girls the other day. It was very, very funny. Fillion getting dunked on as usual. Classic. Deserves it. But yeah. No, sure, I am me, but I don't know if I like me. I don't think I've ever liked me. And you know what, maybe I'll never will like me. But maybe that's not the end of the world. I don't know if... I think if someone likes himself too much, that's probably not a good thing. I mean, you know, narcissism has always been a cause of, like, human disgust, you know? I mean, Narcissus, the tale of the Greek story of Narcissus, the man who fell in love with his own reflection because he thought himself so much more beautiful and above everyone else that he fell in love with his own reflection and died because he wouldn't go away from the water's edge. I feel like I don't think we're ever fine, but that's okay. Are we broken? I don't know. I think we just are. Yeah. People want to say that we're broken and that we can be... like, the idea that, like, we can be fixed. I don't think we can. Listen, you'll be like a million people throughout your entire life. You want to know something really weird? Right? Okay. Throughout your entire life, every single moment of every single second of every single millisecond of microsecond, you are a different person, right? Now, that could be because your very image of the world can change from listening to other people talk and hearing their opinions on things. That inevitably changes you. Maybe not much, maybe only a tiny bit, but your change, the knowledge you have gained has changed. Your worldview has potentially changed. In every single interaction, every single moment, you are changing and you are a different person from who you were. on a scientific level as well, you are a different person. Think about how many cells in your body have just died throughout the course of me saying this. You are basically a different person. How wild is that? So many cells have died and new ones have been brought into existence to replace the old ones. We're masquerading through ruby cities. I want to do a singing stream, actually. I wanted to do a video game one a while ago, but that's another thing, right? I got so anxious about it. I don't think I would have done a few years ago if I was streaming then. But yeah, I think my confidence has just taken a shot so badly. But yeah, I think I just need to work on it. So, yeah, I mean, actually, no, I was going to say, yeah. So, I do have one friend from uni who I'm still friends with, who is my moderator, Buster. You probably see him in chat sometimes. But, yeah, Buster's like the only friend from uni I still have. Well, I mentioned my Chinese friend before. He was from uni, but I only met him in my last year. Yeah. But Buster has been pretty good to me throughout the years. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. But no, he always says that, like, hey, Elijah, I really wish you wouldn't talk. I really wish you wouldn't, like, talk as badly about yourself as you do. And, you know, some people can be really mean about that. They're like, stop talking bad about you. I don't think aggressive about it is hurtful. It's helpful even. But he's just like, hey, man, I really wish you wouldn't, like, think so bad of yourself. I think you're a lot better than you think. And I really appreciate it when he says that. Yeah, but he's told me before, like, I'm much more socially adept than I would come off. And I think a lot of it comes down to, like, I can fake it. Right? I can take the lead in a scenario where no one is going to speak. I remember when I had my first ever collaboration stream, it was with Winter, and I decided to take the reins on that because I assumed she would be a nervous wreck, which she was. I'm very bad with entertaining people, generally interesting enough to listen, so I babble a lot, so I get anxious and just... That's okay, no, listen. Listen, use it, listen, fizzy pop. It's a skill, right? I'm not very good at it. I am looky here. Look at my bullets. I'm lucky that you're interacting with me, right? Because, like, listen, I talk to myself a lot off stream, right? I really wish I could manifest all those thoughts I want to say. I just say to myself on stream all the time, and I just can't. I can't do that. Lizzie Pop is my gender band. Fizzy Pop and Lizzie Pop. That's kind of cursed, I'm not gonna lie. Wait, who's this proverbial they? Who is the they? Oh my god, do you know there's a band called The? Just THE, they're called The. That could not be a thing anymore. You wouldn't have a band nowadays called The. A few friends of mine. I see, it was a collective. The. Yeah, The. That's what they're called. I can't remember. I've heard a few songs from them. I can't remember what they were now. But yeah. No, but, you know, I'm quite fortunate here in that you're actively interacting with me. Trying to host a conversation by yourself is not easy. And again, I would love it if I could bring all the random thoughts I have into stream. Sometimes I'll write them down, and even then, it's like I struggle to do it in an organic way, right? I struggle to do it and yeah, a lot of streamers will say, "Oh yeah, I just write down my ideas and talk about them." Even though I've been doing that, it's still difficult to do if no one's willing to converse with you about it, right? You are essentially having to have a conversation with yourself, and that's not easy. It's not. And like, listen. It's not like when you're by yourself, you can say all the fucking horrible excuse me. You can say all, like, the horrible thoughts you have about the world, and without any kind of backlash or anything like that. No, you have to be careful and make sure what you're saying is entertaining, right? But it's a weird thing where even if you write down your ideas, even if you can think you can hold a conversation with yourself without anyone responding, it is the case where you need to be able to practice it and get better at it. And I'm still getting better at it. I'm not very good at it, but I'm trying. So yeah, like listen, I have a bunch of topics here which I thought of talking about for this stream. Some of which I've just kind of got into without even trying. Some of which I'm like, okay, how do I talk about this? But yeah, not that I'm reading off a script here or anything. It's like, oh, that might be an idea. But some of it has just come up naturally. Like, again, through conversation. Like, the people who have large chats are quite fortunate, where they oftentimes will always have someone to bounce off of in chat. Granted, if you're in a massive, massive chat who has, like, hundreds of thousands of people inside of it, or no, tens of thousands of people, that might be more difficult because chat messages go back, you know? I think it was my first collab that I got invited to that forgot me almost at the end, where they actually got surprised when I was about to leave so they can... What was the collab? I think the idea that, like, you have to collaborate with other VTubers as part of it is also kind of weird. I barely do that. I probably should do. I think it would be better for me to do that. I think you get more eyes on... No, the biggest thing for it is that you get more eyes on yourself through collaboration, right? You do. Inevitably so. But, you know, not all the guys will like you, obviously. A horror game. Ooh. You see, this is why I don't play horror games. Actually, that kind of sucks to me. Like, a lot of multiplayer games are horror games. Granted, okay, I say this. I don't like multiplayer games. I rarely played multiplayer games. I didn't have any online friends to play games with. I have played Final Fantasy XIV with people before who I've become pretty chill with over the years. But, yeah, I don't have, like... I never grew up with, like, a big multiplayer thing. I didn't have the money to afford things like Xbox Live when I was doing that or anything. I didn't use Steam. I didn't have a computer to play Steam games on. Instead, I just played single-player games. And I wanted a narrative. That's what I was wanting in a game. I wanted a narrative. Even now, that's what I want. I mean, there's a reason why one of the most common games I've streamed over the past several months is Golden Sun. This weird, kind of cult classic RPG on the Game Boy Advance, which is a bit hit or miss for me. Sometimes I think it's cool, sometimes I think it's a bit, like, flat. But, yeah. No, I'm sorry that happened, though, Fizz. That sucks. I guess it's like... You need to be able to handle the reins of your own destiny, I guess. Granted, okay. If ever I've been in group works, right, like... This is just in general life as well. Multiplayer games are a bit stressing since a lot of the current Helldive... Oh god, the Helldive is too controversy as well. Running on missions on my own, just rather than fail and told pressured by some level 100 plus people to quit the right. So, no, that's like the problem with playing with randos though as well. Like, and also that's potentially an issue of like how pairing systems work, where it's like you're being paired up with people who are potentially so far above your skill level. I think that's more on the game's fault and not your own fault for like for how they do matchmaking. I understand it's probably convenient for people, but like yeah, I don't think it's good for a matchmaking thing. Guilty Gear Strive, despite its myriad of problems I have with it, it does have a pretty decent matchmaking system where you are in several rooms. When you beat enough players in a certain room, you level up to the next room. You cannot go down, but you cannot go down to lower rooms than you're allowed. Than you already beat. But you can go up to higher rooms, even if you've not unlocked them normally. That means you can always challenge players at a higher level than yourself, but you can't go and beat up scrubs at a lower level than yourself who've never played the game before, which I think is really cool. I really wish that was a commonplace in most multiplayer games in general. You know, always if something doesn't work, like battle royales are kind of dependent on, like, people being randomized, and, you know, obviously you can pair up with your friends and stuff. Excuse me. And, you know, when you have communication like that with friends, it makes things a lot easier. Granted, I think about Apex Legends and how influential that was with its whole like marking system. It just made communication a non-issue because you can always mark stuff on the map. You can always communicate with players through just doing like marking items and such. It's a really, really cool system, and there's a reason why a lot of other games have adopted that system in the space. Like Fortnite, I think, adopted it from Apex because it's a universally good system. It's a really great mechanic. Yeah, it is a cool system in Guilty Gear. Yeah. Obviously, again though, that's a different thing. Like Apex is this like game where you'll have 30 plus players on at one time in the same game, and you know, obviously, even with the highest skilled players, a lot of it is luck based, right? You could have the highest skilled player in the world, but like they might still just someone else might just get better stuff than them, and you know, when you've got other people, dozens of other teams who are like really good at the game as well, you know, there's no guaranteed win for anyone. You just have to try your best. Yeah, like maybe the Guilty Gear system works well because it's a fighting game and it's normally a one-on-one. Maybe not necessarily useful in like large-scale multiplayer games like that. But you know what? I still think it's a good system. No, I was gonna say though, like regarding group stuff, I in like projects and stuff at like school and university and everything. Okay, not necessarily at school because I hated everyone at school. If I could, I would go and fucking burn that building and everyone inside of it to the ground because I hated them all. But in like projects like university and stuff, I would often end up being a spokesperson, and college as well. I would often end up being a spokesperson just because I was like good at public speaking, which is more than a lot of other people. Like so many people. Actually, it is interesting. There are more people, at least in the UK, the most common fear is public speaking. There are more people afraid of talking in public than there are of people dying, which is absurd to me. I don't really have any kind of like fear like that. Like, sure, I'm sure if there was like, yes, I'm in front of an audience of like 2,000 plus people, I'd have a problem, right? Because that's just things like you can push as a spokesperson for research. It happens, right? I'm pretty good at it though. I'm an act. Listen, I know I have the actor aesthetic here. I am an actor by trade, really. Okay, not maybe. Yeah, I do. I've been brought up doing acting a lot of the time. I can bullshit my way through something. I can bullshit my competence. So yeah, I can be a spokesperson. But also, like, if you're in a group as well, and like, you're being at like university and college and stuff, being in a group and like with other people who maybe aren't that willing to talk, you can kind of very easily gauge the vibe if that's the case. So I will be the one to like try and coax people out a bit. I'll be like, okay, let's take charge a bit here. Not that I'm going to be the team leader or anything. I don't think I'm far from team leader material, but I can be the one to like encourage others to get going with it. And like, oh hey, what do you think of it? Do you have any ideas? Yeah. What do you think? Oh, cool idea. The masks we wear defines us for others, but not ourselves. Someone probably. Man, we all just wear masks. We don't have it. We don't have one singular face, right? We all have different masks for every single person we talk to. You will talk to different people differently all over, from your employer to your family to your friends. You know, to just individual people. You will talk to them all differently. We all have like 1,000,000,001 masks. In the same way that we're all changing as people. Those masks themselves might change eventually. What was I going to say then? But yeah, it's important, and I think it's very easy to say, oh, let's collaborate. No, what? Okay, no, I do not find that easy. I don't think I could reach out to... I want to do that more. Especially to someone who I've never met before. It's like, I struggle to reach out and say, hey, would you like to do a stream together? Or a video together or something. I don't know, right? It's weird. But, I think it's the responsibility of everyone involved to try and make something happen, right? To try and coax each other out of the shells. Like, one of my first larger collabs was with myself, it was with Winter, it was with Ty, the courier of C69, he's a cool dude, he's a little chicken man, little chicken with a delivery chicken, and with a friend Zella. throughout the now it was a stream where it was a quiz show kind of thing where I don't know if you were there for it, Fizz, actually, maybe you were, but it was a trying to guess if something was a Pokemon or a real animal based on its description, and Zella. And Zella was quite quiet throughout it all, and I would try and coax her out a bit sometimes. You were there, okay, nice, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if you remember it from there. I would try and coax Zella out a bit sometimes. I felt like she was a bit, like, quiet throughout it all. I messaged her after, hey, are you okay? Was everything alright? I was just a bit nervous because people I've not really met before. I'm like, oh, that's okay. And, like, it was really quite interesting to me just because she always seems really, like, rambunctious on her streams. Yeah, I guess I did try my best. Maybe I think there's a limit, obviously. You know, I can try and coax someone out as much as I want, but there's a limit to how comfortable they'll be even when you try that, right? So yeah, like, I guess you need to, especially if someone's organizing it, right? Like, don't make it about you. Yeah, I've seen that about quite a few times. Yeah. It's like, especially for the person organizing the stream, organizing something, right? I think it should, whilst it is on everyone, I think it's especially on them to make sure that everyone is aware of what's going on, of what's happening, of making sure that people are having a decent time. Like, okay, I mentioned that I was watching that collaboration with Doki Bird and Monopoly with Fillion and such earlier. I feel like, okay, I don't think Fillion's a bad person. I feel like Fillion can make things a bit about herself sometimes. I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just her personality. Maybe it's a mixture of, maybe it's some, like, weird ADD thing. I'm not sure, because she has the attention span of a goldfish. Right, I see. No, okay, obviously that happens. That happens if things come up or that there are pre-engagements already. You need to do those, but yeah. That's a shame. I'm sorry that happened, Fizz. Did she leave for everyone else? What another pan. Apparently she's a cat. But no one really seems to know. Fillion's just Fillion. Fillion's just the Filipino boy. Fillion is the Filipino boy. Fillion is lost. Filipino is boy. What was I gonna say? What was I saying? Yeah. No, it sucks that happened, but like, everyone's got to ensure that everyone's having a decent time, right? And sure, you know, you might try your best, and you could put up a front as well, and like, if it's not something, you know, the people you're hanging out with aren't people you vibe with, that can happen, right? I've not necessarily had anything like that happen to me personally. Like, I try to chat with Zella when I can. I talk with Winter all the time. Ty, we're like friendly acquaintances. I like Ty a lot, but I've not like gotten super close to them. But like, I know I could like. I remember asking Ty actually a while ago about a bunch of like RPGs on Game Boy Advance and he was talking about Golden Sun and like, was it Breath of Fire? Yeah, I thought that was on PlayStation, but apparently it's on Game Boy. Yeah, he's just like a JRPG nerd, and I knew he would be able to help me out with finding like Game Boy Advance games. Ty's cool. Ty's very cool. But yeah. Oh, actually, they are fun. I just remembered something. So like, I made some changes to my settings and streams at the time due to resetting everything, and I forgot about this. It's really annoying. Looking back on the VOD for the Pokemon stream and for the stream I did with Diagnose, looking at Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel cards, the stream quality for them is like, the video quality is not the best. It's like 360 480p for some reason. I don't know. I think it's because of the settings I had. Now it's not like that. Now when I look at VODs now, because I changed the bitrate on it, it's fine. But at the time, for this weird period, a lot of these cool ideas I had were looking really poor. Speaking of ideas, no, I could say breaking character from beforehand. It's like earlier on. Yeah, I did this whole. You just missed it as you came in. Maybe I don't know if you want to watch the button. I thought it'd be funny considering I've been off for 2 weeks to just do this like little bit of like, yes, I'm dead, and I ran a whole funeral service on myself. I recorded stuff for. I got a bit of recording for that. You know, it was. Listen, was it scuffed? Absolutely, yes. What did I sort it out within the last like hour or two? Absolutely. It felt good to be like creative like that though. What an early right, yeah, nice. But yeah, no, it was fun to do like to plan out like a skit like that, and I kind of wanted to do it as well because from doing like I don't know if I think it linked that short just there, yeah. No. Graduation is different from funeral. Funeral is being dead. Graduation is getting a degree you'll never use. Haha! Got him. Who killed Markiplier? Exactly. Actually, I don't really know. I've never really watched Markiplier that much. I have no problem with him. He's just never been my cup of tea. From what I have seen, Markiplier is genuinely funny though. Markiplier is a funny dude. Yeah. I know him from like other people. Like I know him from Game Grumps and such. I know he's appeared in some like Game Grumps music and like Ninja Sex Party. He read a Ninja Sex Party song as a centaur. As a hot centaur man. Yeah, it happened. Even then, right, like, will a masters really help you? Probably not. It's weird. I don't know. Life sucks like that. What was I gonna say there? Yeah, no, yeah, it is on, like, I wanted to do this, like, funeral bit as, like, a creative thing, because I made a short whilst I was sick, because I thought it'd be funny. I edited it all myself. First time I've done that, and, like, I was like, oh, wow, this was fun to do. This got, like, my creative juices flowing, and, like, yeah. I often forget until I do it that, like, it feels good to create things. Try to put the work in and do it. Sometimes I've asked myself the question of, like, why am I streaming? I'll stream weird games no one likes or cares about. And, like, it's a point where, like, I'm only streaming this for myself. Is that really... Why am I doing that? And, like, sure, you should stream for yourself as well, right? But, like, also, it's like... If no one gives a shit, it hurts. It hurts when no one gives a crap about it. So, sometimes it's like... I've figured out that like, just trying to create something for other people and for yourself as well is like good, rather than just doing a stream for yourself. I'm toiling and boiling in a summer of knowledge I probably won't use when I succumb to the office workforce. I hear that, brother. Cheers. No. I have a job I'm not really fond of, outside of this. It'd be awesome to earn money from streaming, but, yeah. Much easier said than done. But, yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I hope you're able to figure something out for that, though. I love sitting through streams, but sometimes I feel guilty because I wouldn't chat, so yeah. No. Listen, Yuzu, Fizz... Sorry, I keep calling you Yuzu now. I'm too used to Fizz as well. Fizz. Never feel guilty about not chatting in a stream. I said before, it's fortunate to have someone who's willing to chat. That is the exception. I think, especially if you're very tiny and small, you should expect no one to be in your chat. Even if you've asked all your friends to come in and have a look, you should not expect any of them to arrive. Expect to be talking to no one. Expect most people to not say anything. The amount of times I'll go into people's chats and I won't say anything, I'll just lurk. That's what I do most of the time. Because I don't want to talk. I just want to enjoy myself and chill out. At that point, you know, that's the test, right? Can you keep talking? Can you be entertained? Granted, some people don't need to talk on stream. Some people don't use a microphone at all. They just play something, and like, granted, I think if you're doing that, you need to be very good at something, right? If you're playing a game to an extremely high level, I don't think you need to talk. That's why I've learned the 2016 YouTube approach of just talking about my day. Well, the thing is, I don't do anything. So I can't necessarily talk about that. Like, I have no social life because I don't have any friends. So I can't necessarily talk about my day a lot of the time because I've not done a lot. Actually, something I can talk about though. I've been really into like Pokemon card lore. I was watching a video about Pokemon card lore. Do you ever collect Pokemon cards? Maybe now or recently. Like there's a really cool YouTube channel called Delta Seeker who does videos all about like Pokemon card art and lore and stuff. And he made a really good like 50-minute long video all about the lore of the Pokemon card game, like the in-game lore which it produces. And it's like, it was such a good video. It was really informative. It's interesting you bring up NTG because something I've been super into a lot lately is Duel Masters. Which, if you don't know what Duel Masters is like the Japanese cousin, younger brother of Magic the Gathering. And it only lasted like 12 sets in like English-speaking territories. Like, I think it went from 2004 to 6 or something like that. Whereas in Japan, it's been going since 2002, and it's still going strong. Apparently, it's in the top 3 of the 3 highest grossing card games in Japan. It is more popular than Magic the Gathering. When I had Duel Masters, I thought of you. Well, the thing is, that's the thing a lot of people thought. When Duel Masters came out, especially in like English-speaking territories, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was already huge at that point, so people thought it was just kind of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Ripoff, which maybe a bit, but also it's more Magic the Gathering, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a Magic the Gathering ripoff. But no, like, Duel Masters is its very own game with its own unique nuances, and kind of fixes some of the issues which Magic the Gathering has. One of the coolest mechanics in Duel Masters, right? So, okay, there's 2 really cool mechanics. First off is the shield system. So, first off, in Duel Masters, similar to Magic the Gathering's color system, you have the 5 civilizations: fire, water, nature, light, and dark, which I'm sure you can guess what they all apply to for the NTG colors. Actually, interestingly as well, Duel Masters, the original manga of Duel Masters was Magic the Gathering. It was originally made to promote that in Japan, and then they changed it to Duel Masters when that game got made in Japan by which is the Coast JP. But yeah, got fire, nature, water, light, and dark, which obviously apply to red, green, blue, white, and black in Magic. You have a mana system, and you have creatures in play, and they all have summoning sickness. You know, a lot of the basic stuff sounds the exact same as Magic. Few interesting nuances there. A few major differences which change it. So, Magic the Gathering, I'm not super familiar with it, but I know some basics. Is it 20 life you start with in most formats? It's like 20, isn't it? It's kind of like Shadowverse. You start with 20 life. 20, right, okay, that's right. In Duel Masters, you don't have 20 life. Instead, you have 5 shields. 40 for Commander decks. Oh, that's the Highlander format, right? I love the term Highlander. It all came for this one film. Like, there can be only one. I love how that's just become like a general term now in like all card games. Highlander. I love that. Wait, yeah. Because Commander's where you have like your one big Commander guy, isn't it? Yes, the one only cards. Yeah. Yeah, I love. I think my first introduction to that was in. So my main game for a long time was Cardfight Vanguard. I first got introduced to the term Highlander when there was a deck in that which got introduced, and there's only really one deck in Vanguard which has ever had anything close to a Highlander style, and I'd never heard of it before. And like, it's like, oh, this is interesting. It wants you to not have the same copies, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a Highlander deck, and like, what? Like, oh, well, it's a reference to the film Highlander. The tagline of the film is there can be only one, and that's why decks in card games. I didn't realize this was used in other card games as well until a little bit later, but yeah, it's a general card game term now for just like decks which run one of each, and obviously liking Magic the Gathering, that can be the format due to the format rules. Sometimes it can be mechanics of a deck which work that way, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, what was I gonna say? So in in Duel Masters, you don't have 20 health. Instead, you have 5 shields, which similar to Pokemon TCG, you take the top 6 cards of your deck and put them face down as prize cards, right? So yeah, the health system is more similar to Pokemon, right? In Magic the Gathering, no, in Duel Masters even, you take the top 5 cards of your deck and put them face down in front of you as your shields, your shield zone. Now, the way you lose in the way shields work in Duel Masters is that you need to break all of your opponent's shields by attacking them, and then you attack your opponent directly, and then you win the game. So theoretically, you need to land 6 hits to win, right? 5 on the shields, and then attack them directly. Now, the cool thing is, whenever that shield is broken, in Pokemon the way it works is that, you beat an opponent's Pokemon, you get a prize card. Now, that's a cool mechanic in that it emulates the games really well, right? It emulates the way the Pokemon card game works in that it's trying to be like, yes, this is a 6-man team, which you need to beat all of, and that's what it's trying to do, right? Because that's the maximum amount of Pokemon you can have in a Pokemon team, 6. In Duel Masters, it's different. Every time, basically toxic counters, I don't know what they are. You'll see what I mean when I explain this now. So, every time you break a shield in Duel Masters, breaking is the term, by the way. You break a shield. There can be other effects which just send shields directly to the grave, in which case they're not broken, which is a really, really powerful effect. We'll get onto that in a bit. So yeah, normally when you attack a shield, unless it is blocked, the shield is classed as broken, and the shield breaks. The shield goes to your hand. It doesn't go to the graveyard or anything. It just goes to your hand. So unlike in also, actually, shields can also have shield triggers, so it means that if they are added to your hand from the shield zone by being broken, if it has a shield trigger, you can activate it straight away without paying the cost. So that could be a very strong spell. Like early on in the game, there's one of the earliest spells is a card called Holy Ore. In Japan, it's called Holy Spark, and there's a whole category of light-based spells called Spark now, the whole archetype for it. But Holy Ore, Holy Spark, whatever you call it. Very powerful card in the early days of the game. It's a 6-cost light spell. Actually, that's another thing. We'll get on to that in a second. 6-cost light spell. When you play it, you tap all your opponent's creatures. It has a shield trigger on it, meaning you can play this 6-mana spell for free, which is awesome. There are also creatures which have shield triggers as well, so if they're broken whilst in the shield zone, you get to summon them for free. Stuff like that. It's really, really cool. So unlike in Pokemon's system, where, in my experience of Pokemon, I'm very mixed on Pokemon, the Pokemon TCG. I'm not sure I really like it that much. But the prize card system in Pokemon feels like kind of a win-more situation. Like, oh, I beat them. Now I get a new card to use. Make the enemy creatures not just be able to do anything a turn. Yeah. Exactly. Legitimately, Holy Ore can win you the game just by letting you survive one more turn. If they have 5 creatures on board, and the first one, and they attack with the first one, and you're not able to block it, if it breaks and activates Holy Ore, you just tap their entire board. And then you're like, okay, well, I guess your turn's over now. And it's like, okay, my turn. I survive for another turn. I can potentially... obviously, like in many card games, all you need is one turn to turn the game around. So yeah, great card. But yeah, unlike in Pokemon system of prize cards, where it can feel like a bit more of a win-more situation when you get a prize card for beating an opponent, in Duel Masters, it feels like a comeback mechanic. So whilst you are obviously being put in more danger because you're losing shields, you also have the chance to make a big comeback by getting a shield trigger. Obviously, it is a bit luck-based, and even then, even if you don't get a shield trigger, remember that card still goes back to your hand. You still get, though you lose health, you gain cards in your hand to use. And yeah, there's a bunch of cool mechanics like that. Another big mechanic in Duel Masters, which kind of fixes some of the problem with Magic the Gathering. So again, obviously your 5 colors, your 5 civilizations in Duel Masters. What's interesting is that unlike in Magic the Gathering, where you have like, I don't know, you'll have like cards with set costs, so, like two of any mana and 1 fire mana in your land. It's very similar to Pokemon system of energy, where you need certain types of energy in order to use attacks, right? Duel Masters is a much more streamlined system. Maybe you won't find it better, but it is more streamlined. Rather than having like individual mana requirements, each individual mana they need. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Instead, in Duel Masters, you have excuse me. You have just the singular mana cost in the top corner. So, hang on, I have an image I can... Let me see if I can get a picture. Just to show you what they look like. Ow! I forgot. Okay, yeah, I forgot. I got TITS installed, Twitch Integrated Throwing System, and I forgot I put as like a thing. I have I put a space bar as like a test thing. So normally it's 300 bits, 300 points to redeem it. No one did that. I pressed it by accident. Hang on 1 second. Let's find an image. Here we go. Hang on. Wait, no, hang on. 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, let's go with this. Okay. Get this. Ow! How would you do that? That's so mean of you. Okay. Yeah, let's get this up. Add image. Yeets. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. This is not the best image quality, but you can see it a bit here. So yeah, this is what for one. This is one of the more iconic cards in Duel Masters, Bolshak Dragon. So yeah, you can see in the top. So obviously, you can tell this is a fire card. It's red. Yeah, cool art as well. It's red for fire. The way it works, this bottom number here, the number on the bottom there, the upside down 1, that's the mana cost. Actually, we'll get onto that in a second. In the top corner, you'll see the number 6. That is the mana cost for the card. You don't need to have several of one type of land and several of another. All you need, you can have any type of mana you want. However, in order to use this card, you need to tap 6 mana to summon it. One of them needs to be fire. One of them needs to match the civilization of the card you're wanting to summon. Except for that, though, it can be anything. You can use any color you want, which makes it really versatile and in deck build. You can really splash a lot of things in. Another thing is that, so one of the big things a lot of people have with Magic the Gathering as a problem is you can either get over flooded on mana, or you can have a drought of mana and you can't play the game essentially. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So there are multicolor cards as well, multi-civilization creatures, which do require you to have one of each. So let's say there's a fire and nature monster. You would need at least 1 fire and 1 nature card in your mana. But other than that, it's fine. Yes, it is really viable. Obviously, you still run the risk of consistency issues and that. So it's not always recommended. But yeah, you can very easily run quite a few multicolored decks in the game. Now, hang on, I'm going to take a sip of water. I've got some lemon tea. What's inside there? Yes, so... yeah, so Bolshak here, this would need any 6 mana to summon, as long as one of them is fire. Now, And yeah, this does make things much more streamlined. The other thing, which is really important, I'm a Grin that runs Rainbow Deck Special for Commander. That's oh yeah, I'm hearing those Warhammer based like. Oh, that reminds me, I'm going to be playing Warhammer 40k Dawn of War later in the week because apparently, fucking yeah, what they call? Oh my god, I can't remember the name. Games Workshop is giving into woke agenda stuff for the upcoming Amazon Prime show because Amazon has allegedly bullied them into changing law to put women in where women were never characters, which is shit. So let's just go back in time to the good old days when Warhammer was good, you know, because I think a lot of people just kind of think, even regardless of, I think a lot of people don't like modern Warhammer. This, I don't know if you've heard anything about it. There's a weird thing where they've retconned some lore to make it so that there's now female characters where there weren't in like an originally all-male group. Sisters of Battle and apparently Sisters of Silence is another one. Sisters of Battle are sick. So like a lot of people aren't happy that it's like putting in like all male orders, they're putting women in. It's like, the thing is, the reason why this has been changed, despite the fact that, again, people are like, why are you changing this when there actually are all female factions in Warhammer? It doesn't make sense. Apparently, the reason why they're retconning some lore to include women in all male factions is because according to leaks, Amazon Prime want to put it's a grim dot well, it's kind of weird for a pull for won'tness. Well, actually, we're going to get on to that. It's all corporate stuff. Apparently, according to rumors, Amazon Prime has kind of been pushing for it and kind of almost threatened Games Workshop, because, you know, Amazon is the richest company in the world, or one of them at least. They were like, you know, in order to like appeal to more people who would never watch the show originally. Not that majority of women would watch Warhammer anyway, but it's like, oh, we want women characters in the series who are going to be powerful even without power armor, which is ridiculous. No, that's so silly. Like apparently rumors have said they've even wanted to put women in who would not even be in power armor and still be able to kick as much ass, which is not the point. That's ridiculous. But yeah, apparently the reason why the change is due to pressures from Amazon, who, the threatened Games Workshop with like not stocking products, I guess. And apparently Henry Cavill, you know, renowned nerd, who is very much a fan of Warhammer, is one of the lead actors and the producers on the show. Apparently behind the scenes is also not very happy. Granted, keep in mind this is all rumors and such and uncorroborated, but it seems like it's one of those things where it's like it's kind of too much and it kind of lines up too much to not be even completely unlikely. Yeah, no, Henry Cavill's always based. And the thing is that like it's his main race as well, which they changed this for. So I imagine as a big nerd, he's not happy, and like I can see people being like, oh well, it's just a fucking fictional thing, why are you getting concerned about it? And it's like, well, you know, everyone gets concerned about the fictional properties that they enjoy. Why are you being such a fucking dick? But yeah, when you hear about the reasoning behind it as well, then it's like, oh wait, this has just gone from like some weird woke stuff to just like genuine shittiness. But yeah, again, uncorroborated, but that's maybe what's gone on. Yeah, is it the Astartes they're called? I can't remember. But they're a brotherhood, now, admittedly in a lot of the lore stuff, it always refers to the Brotherhood and the Sons of Nobles. I guess you want to look at it in a more broad terminology, it could be like, oh, well, it's not necessarily it's simply implying that the men, not all men. I think that's a bit of a stretch, though, if you're looking at it like that. is Nurgle's Death Guard. I don't know who they are, actually. I used to play Tyranids quite a lot. I never played the game, actually. I collected Tyranids, even. I was more just the model builder. Yeah. I have heard also people say, well, Sisters of Silence, who are this group... Oh, right, I see. The Chaos faction, I see. Fair enough. People say, oh, well, like, the Sisters of Silence, they don't talk, so they don't have any agency. Sure. That's the fucking point. Listen, I don't think... I think there's a bit of a misconception among some people. In Warhammer, there are no good people. Right? The human factions, the Space Marines and such, are not, like, the good guys. Like, they're just people fighting a war, right? And the thing is, the Sisters of Silence, oh, they don't have an agency. Like, all the human factions are religious zealots. They are religious, insane fanatics who are giving up everything for the fucking dying machine god. And like, yes, these people are religious zealots who have given up their voice for God. That's cool. That's a cool thing. Yeah. It was meant to be a parody as well, actually. Like, a grimdark parody originally. But I think the parody aspect is kind of gone as well now. Yeah. I'm hearing people kind of maybe... Oh, no, okay. We can save Warhammer talk for later in the week. It's a rather shitty situation. It's rather, again... I think in the wake of the whole Stellar Blade stuff as well, it does feel like woke agenda nonsense, which admittedly just annoys me. It's weird. This is from Cardcaptor Sakura. This is a remix of it. But yeah, it's still shitty. If you like the idea of these women characters being choose, fine. It is a retcon. It is an undeniable retcon, and for people who care about the lore of the series, but I know not everyone does. Warhammer is pretty vast in terms of the people who want to play it and what they like about it. But for people who are big lore nerds, I can totally understand why people are getting annoyed about it. If it is due to pressure from Amazon, like said leaks have stated, I hate that. Yeah. It's not to boost writer ideas. It's so that Amazon can pitch their show in a franchise very much targeted towards men. They want to bring in the largest the women as well. My friend Matty is pretty mad about it. Yeah, like I remember seeing an article recently about how like Marvel films are now like are going to try and more focus on like the majority male audience again, because like things like the Marvels, which were predominantly targeted towards women, did not see much success. And it's because of the and you go, oh, well, people boycott. No, they didn't. No one boycotted that show. People thought it was going to be shit anyway, just because it looked bad. But like, there's just not as many women liking these things. Statistically, there's not as many women liking big action blockbusters and things like that. It's just not it's not the same audience. Not that there aren't people who like them, but there just aren't as many women interested in those kind of genres of big fantasy action things, right? It's just a fact. So yeah, they're like, well, we're going to try and appeal more to the audience who actually watches that stuff instead. You can't have anything just made for boys anymore, essentially. It always needs to be inclusive. If it was an all-female cast, no one would ever ask for a male member. Because that would be considered, like, infringing on women's rights or some bullshit like that. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's all just very depressing. By the way, I'm going to be playing Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War, because that's like the good old days. I was going to pirate that game, admittedly, because I don't want to give Games Workshop money, because even without this, Games Workshop are like a shit company. They are. Everyone's aware of this. They're a shitty company. This is the problem with video games. They appeal to the male fan. I love that meme. That's such a good meme. This is why I fucking hate video games. They appeal to the male fantasy. And then it will show something completely unrelated to them. It's such a good meme template. There's a VTuber watch. Her name is Nene Amano. She posted that as a meme on her channel one time. I was like, this is why I fucking hate video games. They just appeal to male fan, and it's just her being like, "Let's go!" and just like dancing along to like the Yakuza karaoke scenes. It's really funny. Yeah, good sense of humor. Took me a, oh my god. See, this is one of the reasons why like Warhammer is intimidating to play. Like, I don't want to play a 9-hour game. And yeah, obviously people will leave the board set up for like several days. You know, it's kind of D&D, right? People will like go for several weeks in a campaign, even months, sometimes years potentially. By the way, trying to like do that is insane. Like trying to like set up be able to do a dungeon, any tabletop game, a tabletop campaign for several months or years is wild. You know, a lot of people say that the true boss of Dungeons and Dragons is like, it's like a legitimate war. That's cool. It sounds like September, this song. Anyway, no, a lot of people joke about how like the true boss of Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop gaming in general is like scheduling. And I totally get it, right? Like, especially if you're all like adults and stuff and you all have your own work and maybe even families and stuff. Yeah, it's like the ultimate like challenge. Try and find a time and a date which works for people. And it's like, okay, do you cancel the session if only one person can't be there but everyone else can? Or do you carry on and catch them up later on? It's weird. It's not that... It can often be a bit of a shitty situation. I would say that, yeah. Duel Masters. We managed to play once a month. See, that's like still a lot for some people. If you're like all adults and you have your own lives going on, being able to meet up once a month to play a game for a couple of hours is pretty impressive, honestly. No need to cry about that. It's okay. What was I going to say then? Yeah, we're talking about Duel Masters, right? So yeah, you only got the single mana cost in the top corner here, the 6 cost. You'll notice as well, there's an upside down number here, the 1. That is how much mana this card is worth. The really genius thing about Duel Masters, this is a thing which a lot of other card games, but okay, I cannot understate how influential Duel Masters has been in Japanese card game design. It is, like, obviously Magic the Gathering started things off. I would argue that in Japanese card design, Duel Masters, which in itself is like the younger brother of Magic, or the Japanese cousin of Magic, because they are made by the wizards. Duel Masters is probably one of, if not the most influential card games in Japan, alongside Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Yeah. But yeah, no, so yeah, you can see here, the 1, every single card can be put into mana. And we have the colour, it's fine, because it's the base mana cost, it's really compact, especially if you're like being run over. Exactly, yeah. But yeah, every single card, you don't have land cards in Magic. Yeah, obviously in Magic, the 3 main card types are creatures, lands, and spells. You only have creatures and spells in Duel Masters. There are some other extra deck card types and stuff, but they're like weird things. The main card types are only spells and monsters. Every single card can be put into the mana zone. To put it in the mana zone, so you have your shields in front of you. Behind your shields is your mana zone. In front of your shields is the battle zone. You just put your if you want to add a card to mana, similar to how every turn you can add one land card to your mana zone in MTG. In Duel Masters, every turn you can add one card from your hand to your mana by placing it upside down in your mana zone, and any card, creature or spell can be placed there. Theoretically, that means that no card in your hand is a brick. Every single card can be used. If it's to increase your mana count, it can be used for that. If you want to play it, you can do. So yeah, what that means is that you don't have to worry about being flooded or droughted by mana. You wouldn't have a no land turn. Exactly. There is no... Obviously, you can choose not to, right? If there are cards in your hand you don't want to play in mana, because you might not be able to get them out later on, you don't need to. Yeah, it's a really, really, like, elegant system. It's very difficult for a card to be just a dead card in Duel Masters, because anything can be put there. So, you know, Bolshak here, 6 mana card, this means that, like, you're having to wait 6 turns to play this. If you don't want to, and obviously that's a long time, right? You could just put this in mana early on, instead of having to wait 6 turns, so it's not just a dead card in your hand. Oh my god, Diagnose. Actually, I've been wanting to... I mentioned a while ago, I've been wanting to do a... before I did the Rush thing, I mentioned wanting to do a Digimon card game guest stream. I want to do that with you. I was going to actually message you about it after the stream today. Thanks for farting again in the in the funeral service, by the way. I appreciate it. But no, I'll message you about it afterwards about, like, gauging Duel Masters cards. No, Digimon cards. How'd you find Digimon? Digimon, massively influenced by Duel Masters. Like, as soon as I played it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like Duel Masters. It's a very similar thing. Very similar rules. And that, like, your security with your health in Digimon is also kind of a combat mechanic. I played the Rainbow deck. Well, there's tons of decks in... Hang on. Was it Crossheart? Crossheart is pretty Rainbow deck. I think Crossheart uses everything except for black. No, but he's of course he's black. Crossheart, yes. Crossheart, very popular deck. Yeah, I think like Crossheart was really like the first big Rainbow deck in Digimon, actually. Like, yeah, you don't need any color requirements or anything. You can just evolve on things as long as they had the Crossheart name. And they had, like, alternate ways of playing the deck. By, like, you can, like, hard slam cards, really big cards for cheap. By, like, removing them from your hand. It's really cool. Really cool deck. It was one of the best decks in the game at one point. They had to nerf it because it was too strong. Actually, pretty interesting thing. So, I think it was for the US Championship. I'm not sure. Or maybe the World Championship. I'm not sure. In last year, everyone thought, oh my god, okay, these two decks are a bit like Crossheart and Garurumon decks have been dominating the metagame. How are we gonna win this? Which of them is gonna be the top one? Instead, it was a Black War Greymon deck which came in and stole the show, and I was like, what the fuck? Very cool stuff. No, I was gonna say, no, yeah. Okay, I'll message you about that later on, Diagnose. If I forget to, remind me, and I'll fucking shit on your desk. I think my throat's going. Okay, I'm just gonna explain this stuff about Duel Masters, and then I'll probably be heading out for a bit. But, yeah, no. So, every card in Duel Masters can be put into mana. Thank you for the hydrate. And the posture check. Ooh, nice. But yeah. Also, as you can see, there's no health stat in Duel Masters. Much like in Digimon, it is just the power. If a power reaches 0, a card is destroyed by the rules of the game. So there are some cards which can reduce power. In Digimon, this whole yellow in Digimon is all about reducing power as a control tactic. But yeah. Yeah, do you use the power in Duel Masters? Obviously, you can see here, Bolshak has an effect. While attacking, it gets 1,000 power for each fire card in your grave. And it has double breaker, meaning it breaks 2 shields. So, yeah, it means you don't need to do 5 hits. You have cards which can break way more than 1 shield, so you can reduce the amount of hits you need. Yeah. Also, something interesting to know. Actually, 2 things. Number 1. So I mentioned before that, like, obviously, yeah, with the mana cost being streamlined, you can very easily run rainbow decks in Duel Masters, and as every card can be put into mana, you can use them all. Actually, wait, Diagnose, how did you find Digimon from your first time trying it out? I'm curious. Curious and curiouser. But yeah, I was there. Yeah, so there is a thing where, like, you need to be able to actually tap the color of mana. So let's say you have you have only one. You have 6 mana, but only one of them is fire, right? You only have 1 fire mana. You tap that fire mana to summon one weak one cost fire creature, and then you want to summon, you tap 6 more mana to summon Bolshak, but you don't have any other fire, you can't summon it. You need to be able to physically tap the mana in order to summon a creature of that type. So yeah, it's it is management of your mana is still important, despite the fact that how streamlined it is. So it's not completely brain dead, I guess, which is cool. You need to be able to control it, which is also how it stops you from just putting every single card in the game, all the best cards in the game, into your deck because of those limitations. You know, the more civilizations, the more colors you have in your deck, the less consistent it becomes. So, yeah. And again, obviously that depends on the strategy as well. Some decks are all about multicolor stuff. From the early days of the game, there's a really cool deck called Survivors, which is like an archetype where if a card has Survivor, has the Survivor race, they all share the same ability as every other Survivor card. So the idea is that you run a bunch of different cards from different races. You run Fire, Nature, Dark. Light and Water aren't as commonly used in them, but you can use them. But yeah, it's cool. But yeah. I think there's something else we're going to say about Duel Masters as well, but I can't remember now. But yeah, Duel Masters is really cool. Yeah. Okay. My throat is going to die, so I'm going to be heading. They're like the reinforced enhancements in MTG. I'm not super familiar with MTG enough to know that. Are they like equipped? No, artifacts are the equipped cards of like MTG, aren't they? And that you can just, you don't need to like... They're like way better than the ones in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because if the an equipped card gets destroyed in Yu-Gi-Oh! No, if a monster and a card is equipped to in Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets destroyed, the equipped monster is also destroyed, and the equipped spell is also destroyed. In Yu-Gi-Oh! In Duel Magic the Gathering, you just place it down, tap it, and then you can reattach it to something else. Of giving power to it. Ah, right, okay, yeah. It's kind of like that, but it's not just power, they also give effects. Like, there's a really cool card called Shell Factory Delta, which is like one of the best cards for Survivors early on in the day. It is a 6-mana card. It's a nature card, and it's they have a bunch of cool races in Duel Masters as well. It's called Colony Beetle. It's the giant mountain-sized beetle which has eggs spawning inside of it. But yeah, Shell Factory, it's like got an effect where it's got a survivor effect where every time a card is played, you can search your deck for a survivor. So you play itself, search for a survivor. If you play another survivor from your hand, you then get to search for another survivor, and then you can play another survivor. And yeah, it's cool. It was a cool loop. So yeah, cool stuff like that. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff now. Obviously that was very early in the day now. I watched a video a while ago of like modern Duel Masters. And interestingly, one of them was a deck focused around Bolshak, because Bolshak Dragon, it was one of the main cards used by the main character of the anime, of the original series. It's like the Dark Magician. I think what's more accurate, really, is that this card is like, if you guys know Yu-Gi-Oh!, Yusei Fudo has Junk Warrior. This is like the Junk Warrior of Duel Masters. And then later on he gets Stardust Dragon, Yusei does. The main character of the Duel Masters show, he ended up getting a card called Bolnetius Steel Dragon? Bolnetius White Dragon. Very cool card, also very iconic. Has an effect which just shield burns. It doesn't break shields, it just sends them to the grave, so they can't activate any triggers in response to it. Which is awesome. But yeah, that's kind of like... Bolshak is like the Junk Warrior of Duel Masters, and Stardust is like... Bolnetius is like the Stardust, so... But yeah, Bolshak's a very iconic card. Fairly recently got like a whole new boss monster. Andrew, it's really insane. Yeah, it's really insane card. One of the effects of the new Bolshak Dragon, it's like a 10-mana card, but it has this insane effect which lets you summon the top. It lets you like reveal like the top 4 cards of your deck, and lets you play any like armored dragon type, any dragon. I think it lets you play any dragon type monster from among them for free, and as many as you want even. So if you reveal the top 4 cards you deck and you get all dragons, you can just play 4 dragons for free. And it's like, what the fuck? And dragons tend to be strong in this game as well, so it's like, it's really powerful. And seeing people and Japanese players play the game, it's wild in that, like, you have, like, people without batting an eyelid getting able 10 to 20 plus creatures on board. And it's just like, I guess this is the game now. That's just the game. Yeah. Anyway, on that bombshell, I think we're going to leave it for today. Is anyone on right now? Let's have a look here. Oh, sorry, Diagnosed. I don't know if you're still there. I don't know if you saw. You can now throw things at me. Who's on? Who's online? Anyone I know online? No, I don't think so. Oh, goodness. Ba-bum. Da-da. Yeah, no one I know is really online. They're all people way bigger than me. Oh, hang on. Nene's on. She's playing Nikkei. Amano Nene. Let's give her a raid. Yeah. I don't know if she allows raiding on her channel, actually. /raid. I don't, yeah, if she allows raiding, why not? I like Nikkei. And Nene's cool. Actually, I mentioned her early on, didn't I? She's from Production Kawaii. It doesn't... Wait, no, it is a sponsored stream. Maybe it wouldn't be a good idea to do that, actually. Okay, no, never mind. Okay, you know what? We'll leave it. We'll leave it. We'll leave it, yeah. Okay. No problem. Alright. Thank you very much for coming, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, afternoon. My voice is a bit dying now. Thank you for... thank you for listening to my... for putting up with my creative bit early on. I want to do more of that kind of stuff. I want to do more... Again, I said earlier on, I very much find joy in just being creative about stuff. So rather than just playing games, I'm going to do more things like that. I kind of figured I want to do at least one stream a week. Or maybe once every 2 weeks. Where it's just some creative idea I've got. Something which can make people be like, what the hell's going on? Like, you know, a lot of you guys are all like, wait, you're dead? What? I want to do something weird and cool like that more often. Because it's where I've had the most fun doing it. Like, doing like the Pokemon Animal or Not game and like the Rush Duel stream with Diagnose really fun. I spent ages creating PowerPoints for them and like doing little videos and stuff. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. Alright. Thanks a lot for coming, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Keep well. Stay safe. Eat lots of good food. Except steak. Eat stewed beef instead. Yeah. Have a good one. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.